kind of gloss over, but yeah,
We pretty much did.
it kind of went by fast, like we were saying in the beginning. I learned a lot about um, the stock market in general, like how to play it, things like that. I kind of learned like not get too emotional for some things. Like you kind of got to think of it, sit back and just think of it like it's not something. The stock market isn't something you can like really as a person like manipulate by
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay, I know what I could say about this. A month ago on on the podcast, I said like,
Yeah, and we are both kind of learning too. Like
yeah, we're definitely still
that's what you
learning
about to go say, but yeah, we are kind of like learning like what style is
strategy.
best for us. Style strategy is best for us.
Yeah,
So
because when we first for the first year or two of this show, I was pretty big on stock picking. Right, I watched YouTube
yeah,
videos. I kind of we were in like a pretty bullish market for most of that time. So pretty much anything you bought in the pandemic times, it went up. Right, so I was pretty big on stock picking. I was like, oh, it's not that hard. But then this year, as we went through tougher times in 2022, I kind of changed my mind and said, okay, just go with the index fund. You can average whatever 10, 12, 15% per year, and you don't have to do anything. It's easy, um, and you don't have to worry about picking stocks and losing money and stuff. But then I watched this video on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and what he talked about was in the S&P 500, how many stocks outperformed the index this year. And you know how many it was?
I mean, what was it?
So now we're looking at the S&P. So the S&P did not have as good of a year as the Nasdaq. That's why I always say invest in the Nasdaq because it always outperforms. But the point is, the S&P 500, if you invested in that, I think it's up. It doesn't matter. I think it's up 30%, 35% this year. The point is, out of those, if you bought the index, you'd be up a certain amount, right? Out of those 500 companies, about 120, I think it was 120, 130, something like that, outperformed.
Hmm.
So you had a 1 in 4 chance out of those 500 stocks,